from the back of the back lot of a movie studio in Hollywood. It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No! I am your host. Write down our telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. I am looking at an advice column. Newspapers have advice columns no matter how big or small. And they're not all syndicated columns either. Some of these are local. A newspaper in New Bedford, Massachusetts called the Standard Times has an advice column called Annie's Mailbox. And Annie has quite the mailbox, let me tell you. Here's an email from a reader who signs herself Sorry Mom. It says here, Dear Annie, I am happily married to the love of my life. And we have 3 beautiful daughters. There's only one problem. Dun, da, da, da. The oldest isn't his. Happily married to the love of her life, but she's been lying to the guy for years. Says here, my husband and I met when my daughter was 5 months old. Her biological father and I were together for 2 years, and I found out he was unfaithful. So I told him the child was not his. All right, so she's not lying to her husband. She's lying to the father of the child. Says here, my husband is a wonderful father and has never shown any favoritism with our children. My daughter is 7 now, and I know she will figure things out sooner or later. For one thing, she's black and she's 6'2". I'm white and 4'11". I made that up. I told you I knew a woman. This is true. I knew a woman, a church-going Orange County female, who, while she was church-going, used to like to go out at night, have a few pops. And if a bartender wanted to buy her a few shots, she had no problem going behind the bar and thanking him for his generosity. And one night, the big black bartender put the puck in the net. And later on, said woman got knocked up. Of course, because this church-going, God-fearing lady had been banging so many different people, she didn't know for sure who the father was. So she decided to lie to her entire family. Until the birth of her big black baby. And you know what she told the big black baby? Oh, you're Jewish. You're a Sephardic Jew, son. Because, Lord help that family if everybody found out that the big black baby's father was a big black bartender. Can't have that happen. Years later, that kid is well over 6 feet tall at 13, 14 years old. Oh-wee. I've seen that happen. The letter continues, my daughter is 7 now, and I know she will figure out sooner or later. I believe my choices have given her a much better life. But I also live with the daily guilt that I have lied to her and to her biological father. I don't want my daughter to hate me someday for keeping things from her, but I also don't want to subject her to paternity tests, courtrooms, and growing up in 2 different homes every other weekend. What is a good age to discuss these things with her? How do I make things right without destroying her life? Signed, sorry, Mom. Annie's response is that she has to figure out how to tell the kid as soon as possible, including seeking the help of a counselor. We don't know who Annie is. What do we care what Annie's opinion is? What are her credentials? Do we even know? Does it even say it in the column? No. Anyway. You see, the problem these days with women being sluts, I don't have a problem with women being sluts. I have a problem with the fact that women are willing to procreate with absolutely anybody. It's not the sex. It's the procreation. I mean, seriously. Jesus. I mean, in this case, the father of the child was unfaithful until the relationship ended. And at least she told the husband the true story. But the kid knows nothing. But that's what I have a problem with these days. Not that women have sex like guys. That women bang everything that moves like guys, and they're becoming more like guys every day. My problem is that they are very loosey-goosey about the birth control. They've got no problem getting knocked up by deadbeats. No problem getting knocked up by losers. No problem getting knocked up by the guy they're seeing on the side from the person they're in a relationship with or a marriage with. No problem getting knocked up even if they have no visible means of support. No problem getting knocked up if they're on welfare. No problem getting knocked up if they live at home. No problem getting knocked up if they're 12 years old. They just have no problem getting knocked up by anybody, anywhere. So much so that many times women feel guilty, where they get secretive about who the real father is because they themselves are embarrassed about who the real father is. I mean, why can't you make a rule of thumb, ladies? If the guy you're having sex with would be embarrassing to introduce to other people, let's say potential offspring, how about you use birth control? I understand that some of the best lays you'll ever have are people you can't bring home to mom and dad. Believe me, I know. People who do wild, crazy things in the sack are not capable of compartmentalizing their lives. People who do wild and crazy things in the bedroom are wild and crazy in every possible way, and frequently irresponsible in every other possible way. So if you wanted to have the one-night stand with the big black bartender, you wanted to have the one-night stand, you know, with the loser or the felon or the guy who just escaped from prison, or, you know, if you managed to get a conjugal visit with Charlie Manson or whatever it is, how about you tighten up the old birth control for that? And then later on have, if you want to have babies, throw caution to the wind, let's say. Throw caution to the wind when you're with a responsible individual. How about you throw caution to the wind when the person that you're having sex with is somebody whose name you know. Somebody you know goes to a job every day. Somebody who's not, you know, they don't have to register as a sex offender when they come to your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? If you want to find Daddy, we have to look at the Megan's Law list because we don't know where Daddy moved. You know what I'm saying? This is what pisses me off about women today, that they will get knocked up by absolutely anybody. They don't care. Female teachers getting knocked up by their 13-year-old student. They just don't care. They don't think. What happens when I create a child that way? What happens down the line? How do you explain it to the kid? How do you explain it to your family? What kind of trauma is that kid got to go through? And the reason women don't pay any attention to this is because they just don't care. All they care about is having fun, and many of them want to have babies, and they don't really care how they have babies as long as they have them. They want the fun of getting pregnant. They want the fun of having baby showers. They want the fun of getting all the attention whores that they are, that women get when they're, oh, they glow, you look so great, how do you do it, you go to the boss classes. Women want that so badly, they don't care who knocks them up. That's what pisses me off. I am not an old school guy in that I don't, if women are sluts, that's great for people like me. I think it's fantastic. But why in the world would you need to have babies with some of these losers? How about you just have sex with the losers and use birth control at those times and then have babies with guys who are responsible? Doesn't that make sense?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
On occasion, I may wake up and be dreaming that, hey, no one's in the house, it's empty. What would it be like just to wake up, go work out, play some tennis, play a little bit of piano, go for a bike ride, and then go out and hang out?
You want to know? Stop by my home tomorrow morning.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Tanya on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How's your day?
Spectacular.
Good.
Yeah.
Wanted to say, how could it be bad in Southern California anyway?
There's nothing better than living in California. Nothing.
No, there's not. I have to tell you, I agree with you 200%, although I will say that men have to take responsibility as well. And as a man...
This has nothing to do with men taking responsibility. The fact is, you decide who you're going to sleep with. You also decide whether or not a baby is born.
Yes.
All I ask, you can be as slutty as you like. All I ask is that you make sure the birth control is happening when you're having sex with an irresponsible moron, who sometimes are the biggest, hottest guys you could possibly want to get involved with. But let's face it, guys like that are irresponsible and are not going to wear condoms. And why have sex with a guy who's not going to wear a condom?
Why do women care more about getting a pet or a goldfish than they do about bringing a child into the world?
Well, that's a good question.
And you actually have to go down to the pet store and actually buy the tank and buy the fish. Most women these days, they don't even give that much thought to this child who's going to be sitting in a daycare center all day.
Right.
And, did you ever think about it? You have more in common with Dr. Laura than you realize, Tom.
You know what? In a million years, I wouldn't listen to Dr. Laura.
On this subject, though, you are...
I don't really care.
Right.
You know what? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay.
Well, that's true, but I'm
sure we agree that murder should be illegal as well. I mean, it doesn't matter. The point I'm making to you is, this has nothing to do with men being responsible. My very point is that if women want to have sex with the pool boy, or they want to have sex with the guy with the criminal record or whatever, well, he should use a condom too. He should be responsible. He's not responsible. He's an ex-felon.
Right, so you can't count
He's an
on
ex-convict. If you're having sex with guys like that, he should be responsible. If we're going to have sex, he should be wearing a condom. Like, the guy is irresponsible. The guy's a criminal. The guy's a creep.
And then what they're going to do is they're going to work and throw the kid in a day orphanage And the kids
no, but the worst part about it is that women do things like they lie to everybody involved. Later on, when they go out to dinner with Poindexter from the IT department, the responsible, polite individual who isn't as hot or exciting, and they let Poindexter have sex with them because they're feeling sorry for him. And then they find out they've been knocked up, but it turns out they were knocked up by the big motorcycle guy or whatever they meant to be, or the musician or the actor. They just lie and tell Poindexter, tag, you're it.
Do you know women like this? I don't know women like this.
Darling, yes, I have known women like this. Fortunately, I was not dating any of them, but I have known them, yes. And the reason I know these stories is because when I have been involved with a female, they have had friends. The friends tell their friends everything, and the woman then comes and tells some of that stuff to me.
So what happens to these children? They just don't care.
I told you about the one very blonde, very white woman who got some free shots at the bar and did the big black bartender.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's an actual person who lives in the listening area here in Southern California. That's a real person. There's a kid out there right now who's 6'7" and he's a teenager and he thinks he's Jewish and he's not.
And these women just go on their whole lives like that. And they probably have maybe, what I can understand is I hear women that have, 3, 4 kids from 3 or 4 different fathers. How does that happen? I have one child from a person I married. My life has changed.
But don't you see, even you fell into it a little bit during this call. Don't you see, women just drop their drawers for anybody without using, I love drop your drawers, one of my favorite retro expressions, by the way. They drop their drawers for anybody without birth control. Then later, after they've had sex with the big sexy truck driver who, he himself has kids by 4 different women, complain that these guys are deadbeats. Now,
right.
there's a great way to reduce the amount of deadbeat dads. Stop having sex with deadbeats.
True, and that is something. Please, I wish women would listen to. You can control who you sleep with. You can't control what.
Or if you need to sleep with a deadbeat, be sure the coil is in there. Okay, just slap on the old diaphragm before you have sex with a deadbeat.
Hey, I've always wanted to ask you this question, and now I can because I'm talking to you. What do you think is more important, 10 body and a 5 face, or a 5 face and a 10 body?
I need the whole package.
Well, what if you just had to pick? What do you think most guys would say? What's more important, face or body? You're not huge.
Most guys would pick the body and then just have sex in the dark.
Really?
I think so. You put a bag over her head. It's called a butterface.
Oh. I'm so disappointed. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
A beautiful face at 200 pounds. I don't think most guys want that.
No, not 200 pounds. Just
180
average.
Pounds. 160 pounds. No.
What do you think about Hugh Hefner and his girls that are gorgeous?
What do I think about Hugh Hefner?
Do you think it's great that he has 3 girlfriends? Would you do that at his age?
Put it this way. Every man would do that. Every man out there would do that.
Think his girlfriends are hot?
They are not, but put it this way. Yes, they're hot. They don't happen to be my personal fetish, which is women with brown skin and dark hair and brown eyes, which I just absolutely, completely love.
You wouldn't like me then.
I'm sorry?
You wouldn't like me at all.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
Blonde on blonde?
Oh, yeah.
Blanc to blanc?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, boy.
So,
are you hot?
Honestly.
But are you a butterface or are you hot?
I definitely not a butterface.
I've made exceptions to the rule when a woman is really hot. I have. But they have to be really hot. I can't do it unless the woman is super hot.
Wow. So what do you think of Hef's girlfriend wanting to have a baby? See? Once again, what's that baby going to do when he croaks and dies?
I agree with that.
And then that kid's left. I mean, how stupid. Come on.
Well, I mean, if I were Hugh Hefner, I wouldn't want women having my babies anyway because I wouldn't want to be giving away my fortune.
Exactly. But he's willing to do that, so.
Well, you know, by the way, it's his money, his life. He can do what he likes. I just wouldn't do that.
And I have to say one more thing. You know, congratulations to you, making the choice not to be a father. I think that anyone who has any doubt should never be a parent. Ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, I prefer to be a daddy figure.
I think...
If you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
Hang on a second, Tanya. What did John say here?
I got something to say. Girls who have kids with 3 different dads, they're stupid tramps who can't keep their legs closed. They just are addicted to sex or something. They don't like rubber. I don't even know what it is. Tramps, because my ex-girlfriend was one of those girls, and she has 3 kids from 3 different dads. None of them are mine, thank God. And she's just a tramp. She's a freaking whore.
Well, she hung up, but, John, I thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to Deb on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
You know what? You are the best thing that has happened to women, and they should just listen to you. I'm a 47-year-old South African who had a baby at 42 because I played for so long. Why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I carry the condoms around in my bag if needed be. It is the woman's responsibility. They should be taking care of themselves, and this is ridiculous. When I hear people are getting married at 22, I just laugh. I just laugh. I have to walk away and go, you guys are just stupid.
Well, I you know, there are all these TV shows and all these laws we're making about deadbeat dads. I don't feel any sympathy for somebody who's a victim of a deadbeat dad, because that's somebody who had sex with a deadbeat.
You know, the biggest point that these women need to understand is choice. You have a choice. You can either drop your drawers, as you say, or just not even wear underwear. But you can do what you want. Men will go for it. But you need to be prepared, and you need to know this about men. But these young chicks today, man, I'm sorry. I cannot believe how many people in their 20s are actually pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It flips me out, and they don't know who the father is.
How about their teens?
No idea.
How about the 15-year-olds? Come on.
You know, the point is that what happens to these kids, and we've all seen it coming up now, besides it going into daycare, we're talking... You know, I always go back to that, the Columbine thing, that the parents said, well, we didn't know what our children were doing in the basement. God forbid, I don't know what my child's doing in the basement making pipe bombs. Hello? Are you kidding me? Where are the parents today? Why are we chasing the almighty dollar when... I'm saying it's fine in your 20s and 30s, but when you get to your 40s or whatever it is, when you feel responsible, it's time to look at life and go, what is important? You have enough, you have what you want, go make an honest living, but just keep it together, man.
Good points.
Oh, man.
Good points, Deb. Thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM, that's our telephone number. Robert on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, look, man, I totally agree. My cousin, you know, I've never heard you before. My cousin just turned me to you. And, yeah, my sister's 24, and she used to live in El Salvador. She has a kid now. She's 6, and, you know, no father. And now she just told me she got pregnant again. And this guy doesn't want to have anything to do with it either, and she has no job or anything.
So what is she thinking? Do you ask her?
I told her, I was like, what? And she told me the condom broke, and I said, what happened to birth control? And she said she said she took it. And I can't believe her now.
Are you telling me you're from El Salvador, you and your sister?
Yeah. Now we live in Sacramento, though, and I'm here in L.A. visiting, and it was the first time I heard you, and I totally agree with everything.
Yeah. I have never met a woman of Hispanic heritage who uses birth control, unless she's like a third-generation American.
She told me, and I don't know what she wants me to say. I don't know if she's looking for comfort or...
no, she's going to be looking for babysitting services, and it's going to be tag, you're it, Robert.
No, this can't happen.
That's what she's got. Look, I've seen these situations before. And your mom, is she living in the country?
Actually, she's also in Sacramento.
All right. Well, I no doubt your sister's going to press your mom into babysitting service, if she hasn't already.
It's the thing. She's not worried about it at all. Like, she's just like, oh, well.
Well, many Latino families, the kids have kids, and they expect mom, who may only be 42 or 44 years old, they expect mom to be abuela. That's what they expect. That's what they expect. And so that the daughter can go out and continue getting knocked up. I've seen it. I've seen it.
So what advice would you give me?
There's nothing you can do. What you have to do is tell your sister you're not going to be helping her financially. You're not going to be babysitting. Do not count on you for anything.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, she hasn't even told my father yet.
Well, the clock is ticking. She's got 9 months.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now.
I mean, the bottom line here is you have to let her know you're not doing anything to pitch in. Has your mother pitched in with the first kid?
Somewhat. But the first kid's already about 6 now.
How old is your sister?
24.
24? Yeah.
24.
Right. Unbelievable. Well, you'll have problems. Your family will give you a hard time if you say you're not going to lend your sister money if she needs it, or you're not going to take her in if she needs a place to live, or you're not going to help her babysit her kids. But you know what? You have to stand strong. You should not be rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. I don't have a problem with women being slutty. I just have a problem with women being slutty with deadbeats and then complaining when the guys are deadbeats.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
My boyfriend's dad is listening to you or whatever, and he is a piece of crap. Like, he seriously is a piece of crap. And now my boyfriend is starting to listen to you. So I think that every guy that listens to you is a piece of crap.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
My name is Tom Leykis. In fact, from any other city where I might happen to be, my name is Tom Leykis. That's right. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Mary on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello. I have never listened to you before.
It shows.
But I got to tell you, you got to move it up into the 21st century, dude, because it's not just a woman's responsibility to be prepared.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about women who have sex with big, brawny jerks because they're hot and they have one-night stands with them.
Yeah,
okay.
And they're not always, they don't always know.
How would you expect somebody like that to, quote-unquote, be responsible? They're not responsible. They're big, brawny jerks.
There's a lot of jerks out there, and there's a lot of sluts.
So why have sex without using birth control with a jerk? Because you don't care whether or not you have a baby. You don't care about the consequences.
Why is it the woman's fault? Why is it the woman's
Again,
fault?
it is your fault for choosing to procreate with a big, brawny jerk.
You know something? Not all the jerks are big and brawny.
I didn't say all of them are, but you know what I'm talking about. Irresponsible people, people you can tell are deadbeats going in, like out-of-work musicians, out-of-work actors, hot guys who mow the lawn, and people like that. Why would you want to have sex with somebody like that without using birth control?
Why is it the woman's responsibility?
Again, can you hear me? We're talking about irresponsible people. There was a TV show called Desperate Housewives where the plot in the first season was a woman who's married to some guy goes and has an affair with the teenage gardener and is having sex. Now, if you're having sex with somebody like that without using birth control, why would you do that? Well, it's his responsibility to use a condom. No, it's your responsibility. First of all, if you're having sex with a minor, which is illegal, it's your responsibility at least to try to keep from having babies. The person you're having sex with is an irresponsible minor.
You need to get a life, guy.
Yeah, you have no answer. Typical bitch who cannot respond to logic. There's somebody who can't understand normal, thinking? 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. But Michelle, did you hear that call?
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm okay. Did you hear that call?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree with you about being irrational and not. It's insane.
I mean, the whole point I'm making is when you're having sex with somebody who's an irresponsible deadbeat, if you think the guy's hot and you're going to have a really hot night of sex, how about you tighten up the birth control so that you don't have babies with a guy like that?
Absolutely.
I mean, and I just love these women. They're so blind. Why is it always the woman's responsibility? Well, because it's the woman who's going to decide to have the baby of that jerk, and then later will be on Oprah complaining about deadbeat dads.
Yep. The women have all the control from the beginning to the end.
You're right.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I don't think the system is fair at all. I've been divorced. I was too young when I got married. And I'm actually a phenomenal ex-wife, if you ask me. But I really believe, because I split custody with my husband, and it's so nice because he actually gets to have more time with his son, and he pays me less money. So in that world, it's fabulous. And that's the only way I think that it can be fair. But I genuinely believe, and this is why I called in, is that people worry about who they're going to marry more than they worry about who they're going to have kids with. And it's one of those things where if you have kids with somebody, you are connected with them for life. When you marry somebody, and if it doesn't work out, you never have to see them ever again.
That's true.
So you do have to be very careful with whom you choose to have kids with, and you need to be very safe because the women have all the control. So even if you feel that you want to be with this person, you want to be with the kids, you have no say in it whatsoever.
You're absolutely right, Michelle. Thank you for that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Stephanie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. I'm really upset, and I don't know if you could help out, if there's anybody out there who could help me out. I have a son who is 15, not allowed to have a girlfriend. I know I'm a awesome parent. They're involved in sports, know where he's at, know who he's hanging out with, know their friends. They come over here. There's this girl that he likes who's also 15, and I know her parents. I know her. The whole family knows that my son is not allowed to have girlfriends. Well, I just found out maybe about 2 weeks ago that she's pregnant. And the whole family knew. They were waiting till after she passed 4 months, so there could be no talk about abortion. They knew that they were having sex at their house, and I hardly ever let my son over there. But when I do, I talk to the parents and tell them, okay, you guys are going to be home. They're not going to be alone any place in the bedroom or anything like that because those rules apply to my house. And they were letting them do this behind my back and decided to continue on with this pregnancy behind my back. So that's the first part of it.
So, wait, your son wanted to continue with this pregnancy?
No. The family decided that, and when the grandparent is very religious, so they said no abortion is possible. And when I found out...
Oh, I love that. The family is religious, but the fact that their daughter is in the bedroom fornicating, that's perfectly okay.
And they know that. And nobody told me. I found out about this. I was upset, and I said, well, what are you doing? I don't want to ruin, their lives. They're young. They need their education. I didn't go this far in life for some mess up like this. And I told them to think about the abortion. The girl did this to keep my son, and she told him that she doesn't want to be a single parent, and that's the only way that they could stay together. And he said, no, my mom said that, she would allow us to be together, but, we have plenty of time to get together, plenty of time to get married, do things right, then have kids. well, they came back to me telling me that I was selfish. Well, I'm not going to ruin my son's life, and education is so important, and I'm still in control while he's a minor. So what I did was I contacted a lawyer. They're going to put papers together to give up all rights of this child. And now, because of all of this, I have to send my son. I'm going to lose 2 years of his life with me, which I feel guilty about sending him to finish school somewhere else or out of state.
Wow.
And
wow.
Their family's like the mom's on welfare.
You see, if the mom's on welfare, that tells you something about the mentality of the people you're dealing with anyway.
Right. And
of course, your son obviously is too young to know what that means.
Yeah, and I see when parents get in when people who are adults over the age of 21 and because she wants to keep my son, she's in the fantasy world that she's going to keep him because she's going to keep this baby, which isn't going to happen. And I understand when there's two adults, over 21, the female gets pregnant. She says, well, I'm gonna keep the child. And then the male is upset, ends up paying for it for the rest of their life. But when they're 16 and the decisions made upon, 15, made upon with the 15-year-old, and for her to choose that this baby is going to be here and he has to be responsible for it. I mean, they don't even know what they're doing. I don't know how it's fair that he is held accountable or I'm trying to see if there's something
you might want to see an attorney. My guess is because he's the male, there'll be nothing you can do about it. But just one way of thinking, I'm not a lawyer, but this girl was having sex with a minor, which is illegal. And
she's a minor, too.
That's not my point. My point is if the parents knew about this and did nothing about it, I don't know what kind of liability there could be there, and you might want to talk to an attorney about that.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to pursue. But, it's just in this world, things are crazy. If I had a minor in my car with me and I got into a car accident or something, the parents of the minor could sue me if they got hurt or what have you. And like with Tommy Lee with that birthday party where that kid drowned it in there, they hold them responsible. But yet when these are minors making decisions like this and holding things back, it's terrible, especially when I strive to do everything that was right. I dotted my I's, I crossed my T's, and then for this to happen.
Well, this is why I tell people there are a lot of arrogant people out there who talk about having kids, and they say, this isn't going to happen to me because I'm going to raise my kid right. Well, I hope those people are listening to your story because it sounds like you've done everything you can.
I do. I mean, I have them even listening to your show. I mean, I talk to them about everything. As far as, be careful, and when you guys do start dating, girls could be like this or girls could be like that. But, you can't even trust parents who you talk to now because obviously they could care less what's going on with their child. And, just everybody out there, they need to be careful. Bring the kids into your own home. Don't let them go somewhere else because it's really sad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wish you the best of luck. Hang on a second, though. Tom, what did you want to say here to Stephanie?
Hey, how's it going, Stephanie? This is Tom. I'm from Northridge. I just want to let you know, growing up, my mom always told me I'd rather be a smart mother than a dumb grandmother.
It's terrible, especially when I strive.
All right, well, I guess that's going to have to stand as your That brought it to a screeching halt. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Anthony, and I'm going to tell Anthony to say quickly my prediction because we're at the end of the hour. He won't. Anthony.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hi. Well, I'm calling because I got this situation. I've been knowing this girl since she's been 15. I'm 24. It's going to be 6 years now this year. And she's got a kid with some other guy.
And
I always buy her stuff. And and then she tells me that she wants to move in with me and everything, but for some reason...
You'll be having a baby with her before long, son. Good luck.
The Tom Leykis Show.